Hey, I hope you're doing well today. Before I start on these 10 facts about birth in and out of the hospital in America and how home birth can be safer, I want to say that I do not think every woman should home birth or birth naturally. I am only trying to educate people about birth altogether, as our country does need to do a lot of work when it comes to hospital birth, as well as certifying midwives and having more regulations and making things more clear in that regards. So let's start from the beginning. Number one, most births occurred outside of the hospital prior to 1900. Now, a doctor in 1915 says, quote, he believed childbirth was not a normal function and that midwives had no place in childbirth. You see, when a lot of other countries started to take birth to the hospital, they still allowed midwives to take part. Here in America, the male doctors took over, and it turned into number two, twilight birth becoming popular, which was offering women painless births when that was not true. They just didn't remember the pain they were in. They used drugs like morphine and scopolamine, and I will link a video about this down below that is very informative and gives great insight into what women went through for decades, and not just women, babies, males and females brought into this world drugged to a drugged mother in pain. This causes issues when it comes to bonding, and I believe, in my opinion, it has a lot to do with a lot of the emotional and physical pain taking place right now. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because number three, in a lot of ways, the U.S. is not doing well in terms of infant and maternal birthing success in hospitals. We are lagging behind a lot of countries, and it doesn't make any sense because we have the most technology and we spend the most money on healthcare. You think, if anything, we'd be number one in maternal and infant mortality and the success rates in our hospitals with birthing. Something isn't right in our hospitals. And number four, it is a special thing to be a baby-friendly hospital or to have obstetric crash carts in each labor and delivery room, something proven to significantly improve outcomes. This started because of Dr. LaGrue in California, and when they started to implement these crash carts, which have things that my certified midwife had, simple things you think would be in every labor and delivery room, especially now that they've proven that it significantly improves outcomes. It just blows my mind that this isn't a thing across the board. And my midwife had tools on her closer to her than nurses and doctors would have in certain hospitals and certain labor and delivery rooms. A certified midwife even has IVs with Pitocin, and they can handle any emergency situation long enough to transfer you to the hospital. And if she is a good midwife, she will do that in time. Okay, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Number five, statistics the CDC uses include unplanned out-of-hospital births and don't include the ethnicities and races most likely to die in the hospitals. They state that 90% of home birthers are non-Hispanic white women anyway, but that other 10% matters too. 10% is a big number when it comes to statistics, really. Also, they exclude things like anomalies. So, a certified midwife has you go to an MD, you go to an OBGYN, you get approved by a doctor, and at any point during your pregnancy, while he's giving you prenatal care, he can take away the approval for your home birth if he feels it's not safe. Home birth is for low-risk women, and there's a lot of women completely foregoing prenatal care and trying to save a buck by getting somebody who has no formal education in midwifery, and those are the people they include in statistics, including non-planned out-of-hospital births. They include those high risks in the statistics for home births, but they take out all of the high risks for the hospitals, such as ethnicity, such as black women, and multiple births, and births with anomalies, which if you have an OBGYN approving your birth, he is not going to let you home birth with an anomaly. He's going to send you to the hospital. So all of these factors are not being played into these statistics. They're making it seem to their advantage, like, ooh, look how risky and scary this is. They are literally leaving out the highest risk patients, births of multiples, births with anomalies, births to the ethnicities that are 3 to 4 times more likely to die during childbirth. Why are black women dying so much more? Here at the bottom, you'll see the thing about excluding anomalies. So you're taking away what probably caused a significant amount of the deaths in the hospital and what is least likely to be taking place at a home birth with a midwife. Anyways, also there is something out there about home birth babies more likely to get a 0 APGAR 5 minutes after being born. As far as I can tell, that has something to do with something to do with the differences in how midwives record things, and it seems like they will put down basically 0 5 minutes after being born means you're dead. So I can't even wrap my head around that statistic, honestly, and I do want to make a video about it once I figure it out. But here we go. This is number 6. There is a big difference between just free birthing, having a midwife with no prenatal care, or having a certified nurse midwife or certified midwife with prenatal care with a doctor. There is such a broad spectrum. And if you hire a certified nurse midwife that works with a doctor, it can be safe, if not safer. Number 7, I already touched upon this. A certified midwife has all tools needed for any medical emergency during birth in case of a hospital transfer. A certified midwife will have relationships with all the community hospitals, and she will know the doctors she's transferring her patients to even. Okay, number 8, Alaska success rates prove that with a lot of consistency, it can definitely be safe, because for obvious reasons I don't think I really have to get into. I think there was a lot more knowledge maintained in the community of midwifery up there with such a lack of hospitals in all their rural areas, and their statistics are the best. But the CDC will focus on states like Oregon with the worst home birth statistics in order to skew it once again. Number 9. Hospitals need to accommodate women and be less strict with certain policies, such as eating during labor, being able to move around, and not having to be constantly monitored and hooked up to equipment. A lot of home birthers are women who had terrible previous birth experiences and desire the freedom they want, not just for themselves or to win a trophy, because we know that that is best for our babies and most likely to prevent complications. It's not about trying to win a prize. It's about trying to do what is best for your baby. And I wish people would understand that that doesn't make you a superhero, make you think that any woman that birthed at a hospital isn't doing what's best for her baby. Because of families putting their feet down and saying these policies aren't right, things are changing. And maybe less women will birth in situations that are riskier than being in the hospital. When I first gave birth over 12 years ago, they forced me to let them take my baby to the nursery. And that's something that same hospital doesn't do anymore, and rightfully so. And it's not because of crazy, crunchy, natural-minded moms. It's because it is safer and better for the baby to be kept cocooned near the mother and not in a nursery near germs and around medical professionals dealing with germs more than their mother. So, anyways, number 10. Here's how unsafe home birth isn't. Insurance companies are even coming around to it. You know it's not unsafe. And this is what needs to happen. There needs to be more support all around. You need to have insurance companies saying, hey, with the approval of a doctor in our network, we'll pay for this. We'll give you some money for this, because then more people will be able to pay for certified nurse midwives or certified midwives. The certified midwife costs about $2,500, and the certified nurse midwife costs $7,000. I wanted a certified nurse midwife at first, but we just could not afford the $7,000. But then you've got women that are paying like $500 or so to a midwife that's just like apprenticed and been an assistant probably to a certified nurse midwife, but hasn't taken it upon herself to go to an actual school and witness and participate in several hundred births before she has one that she takes on her own. Like in that medical setting, there's an actual school my midwife went to in another state. The problem is, not every state recognizes certifications of midwives. There's a lot that needs to be worked on in order to make the birthing process safer for everybody in every way, whatever they choose. That's what needs to happen. But of course, the medical industry in America will have you believe that it's all just a bunch of nutty women risking the lives of their babies and themselves at home, when it's kind of the opposite a lot of the time. When you're aware of what goes on in hospitals and you're not comfortable with the hospital in your area, seek out all your options. Even go to a different hospital that's a little bit farther away if you can. There's always more options. If you're not comfortable, every woman deserves a comfortable, safe space with the support she wants and desires during birth. That's all this is about. Thank you for listening.